Dentist Chris Kammer from the Lifetime Family Dentistry Clinic on Madison's West Side joining us now. To floss or not to floss, Chris, that is the question.
That appears to be the question today. Yes, everybody's talking about it. You know, in a nation that has 80% of the population having gum disease, how good is that flossing recommendation really even doing? To me, flossing, if we're going to count on that recommendation to get gum disease under control, I think that then flossing is a joke if we're making that recommendation alone. It's not enough. It never has been enough. I never send somebody out of this office and say, hey, you need to floss more, because it just simply can't do the job. And now that's what the studies are showing, that it doesn't do enough. There's really no evidence that it can improve things. But I'll be honest, I flossed before this interview, okay? and we floss because our mouths feel better, our gums feel better. I think there is some value to flossing, but I would stress that it's not enough. It never has been enough. And if you're leaving a dental office and you're told to just floss more, that's bad, because that's not going to work. That's never been enough. Like I said, 80% of the population has gum disease. Now we know that gum disease is connected to your heart attack risk, stroke risk, diabetes. Getting gum disease under control is the issue. Flossing by itself isn't going to do it. Brushing and flossing isn't enough. The best that brushing and flossing can do is get down to about 3 millimeters of these pockets around our teeth. We have gums that kind of lay against the tooth like a turtleneck sweater. You got to get underneath that turtleneck sweater to get the bacteria out from under there. Flossing by itself and brushing, the best that they can do is get down to about 3 millimeters.
So what can you do?
But many, many people have pockets beyond that.
So what should you do?
Oh my gosh, well, first of all, you need to get diagnosed to see if you have gum disease. If you have bleeding gums, America, you've got gum disease. And, you know, and if it's 80% of the population, most people have it. You need to get it diagnosed. What can you do from a home care standpoint? That's what you're asking, I believe. You know, flossing and brushing isn't enough. You've got to use a water pick. The studies show that a water pick can get down to 6 millimeters to kick out that bacteria. That bad bacteria that can contribute to lining plaques in your arteries and your diabetes risk, etc. That bad bacteria is laying in the deepest part of your pocket, so you got to kick it out. So if you've got a 4 millimeter pocket, I know I'm getting kind of technical here, but you're brushing, all the brushing and flossing in the world won't do it. So you need to ask your dentist, or your hygienist, do I have pockets that are 3 millimeters or deeper? Because even the best brushing and flossing can just barely get to a 3 millimeter pocket. Flossing and brushing alone is not going to do it. You got to use a water pick, but you also have to have the therapy that gets down and kicks those bacteria out. We test for bacteria in our office here, and we specifically target the bad bacteria with an antibiotic we do in conjunction with a deeper therapy. So it's a big deal. There's a lot going on in the mouth, and since it's so systemically connected to your whole body health, first step would be to ask, do I have gum disease, and how can I take care of it? And if your dentist or hygienist tells you to go floss more, ask them why. Because what they may not be telling you is that you have gum disease, and then your mouth is on fire, and you need to do everything possible to get it under control, because it can have systemic health ramifications.
You got to get underneath that turtleneck sweater. That's a good analogy.
Yes, you do.
Go to the dentist twice a year. All right, Chris, thanks for being with us today.
Dr. Kammer, thank you so much. Great to talk to you today.
Thank you, Mark and Susan. You guys are great.
I got to go floss now. We'll see you later.